Is Carlos Alcaraz turning his back on Spain? With the Hopman Cup just around the corner, many expected to see the young prodigy defending his country's colors. However, the Mercian has decided not to take part in this mixed competition, which has sparked doubts, criticism, and even some controversy. Why has he made this decision, and what does it mean for Spanish tennis? Today we break down his absence, the reasons behind it, and what it means for the national team heading into the tournament. Carlos Alcaraz will not be at the next edition of the Hopman Cup, and the news has surprised many. This mixed tournament brings together the top tennis nations and will take place from July 16 to 20 in Bari, Italy. Spain, traditionally competitive in this event, will bring an alternative team. Alcaraz's decision has to do with the demanding schedule. The clay court season has been brutal, and with Wimbledon ending just 3 days before the start in Bari, the change in surface and physical recovery would be unsustainable. The Mercian is prioritizing his health and long-term performance. This isn't the first time a top player has opted out of such competitions to preserve their body. At 21, Alcaraz already understands that the professional calendar is a trap for the body, with constant travel, surface changes, and little room for rest. On top of this is his recent adductor injury, which forced him to withdraw from the Mutua Madrid Open and puts his participation in Rome in doubt. So, although the decision may seem unpatriotic to some, it's strategic. Carlos is aiming for the big tournaments and doesn't want to risk his form in lower stakes events. Alcaraz's absence adds to that of Paula Badosa, who will also miss the Hopman Cup. The Catalan player has been struggling with physical issues for some time, and her team has chosen to minimize her participation to avoid aggravating her chronic injury. Thus, Spain will head to Bari with a team led by Roberto Bautista and Marina Basals. Although both are experienced players, the national team's level falls well below that of other nations arriving with their top stars. Teams like Canada, with Felix Auger-Aliassime and Bianca Andreescu, or Greece, with Tsitsipas and Papamichael, present much stronger lineups. This leaves Spain with a tough mission. To reach the final, they must overcome Greece and Canada in their group, in a competition played as best of 3 matches per series, 1 men's singles, 1 women's singles, and 1 mixed doubles. Meanwhile, in the other group, France, Croatia, and Italy will compete. Interestingly, Italy is also missing its number 1, Yannick Sinner, for reasons similar to Alcaraz's. Still, they will count on Jasmine Paolini, currently ranked world number 5, which gives them a significant edge on the women's side. Carlos Alcaraz's absence from the Hopman Cup should not be interpreted as a lack of commitment, but rather as a calculated decision in a particularly tough season. With Wimbledon and Roland Garros as priorities, the Mercian seeks to protect his body and avoid new injuries. Despite criticism, professional tennis demands sacrifices, and knowing when to compete is as important as knowing how to. Spain, meanwhile, shows up in Bari with a more modest team, but eager to cause an upset. Is Carlos Alcaraz ready to conquer clay again? After several weeks of uncertainty due to injury, the young Spaniard has made a strong return in Rome, training intensely at the Foro Italico. His absence from the Mutua Madrid Open left many questions unanswered, but now the Mercian seems determined to silence all doubts with his racket. How has his return to the courts been, and what are his expectations for Roland Garros? Stay with us, because we're breaking it all down, step by step. Carlos Alcaraz has successfully completed his first training session in Rome, a key moment after withdrawing due to adductor discomfort. The world number 3 trained with Flavio Cobolli, currently ranked 34 in the ATP, in a session eagerly awaited by both fans and the player himself. After the injury sustained in the final of the Conde de Godó against Holger Rune, the big question was how his body would respond. However, his first hits at the Foro Italico showed promising signs. The court was packed with fans eager to see him back, in a typically passionate Italian tennis atmosphere. The last time Alcaraz was in Rome was in 2023, when he fell in the 3rd round to Hungarian player Marozsan. In 2024, he missed the tournament due to a forearm injury, so this return represents more than just a comeback. It's an opportunity to build competitive rhythm right before Roland Garros. Moreover, he's arrived with enough time to acclimate, unlike the rushed pressure of recent tournaments. The training with Cobolli, symbolic for coinciding with the Italian's birthday, allowed Alcaraz to test his physical state under real conditions against a mid to high level opponent. Next Friday, Carlos Alcaraz will debut at the Rome Masters 1000 against either Japanese player Yoshihito Nishioka or veteran Serbian Dusan Lajovic, who entered the draw after Jan-Lennard Struff's withdrawal. In principle, the draw has been kind to the Spaniard, giving him a chance to warm up before facing the top seeds. Still, each match will be another test to confirm his full recovery. Alcaraz is not just playing to progress in Rome, but to arrive with full rhythm and confidence in Paris, where he hopes to win his first Roland Garros title, one of his biggest dreams. But another name floats in the Roman air, Jannik Sinner. The world number one returns after a 3-month suspension, and like Alcaraz, has chosen Rome as the place for his official comeback. Although both are more focused on fine-tuning their games ahead of the French Grand Slam, their simultaneous presence at this tournament raises the possibility of a much-anticipated duel. For fans, it would be a perfect appetizer before the great battle in Paris. For now, the two observe each other from a distance, each focused on recovery and strategy. Carlos Alcaraz has, at least for now, left concerns about his physical condition behind. His return to training in Rome has been positive, surrounded by a crowd that confirms the Mercian remains one of the biggest attractions in world tennis. The Italian tournament will be key not so much for the title, but for its value as final preparation before Roland Garros. With his body responding well and motivation intact, all signs point to Alcaraz being ready to compete at the highest level in the season's most demanding Grand Slam. Can a tennis champion afford to unwind with parties and social life? Carlos Alcaraz, the young Spanish prodigy, has sparked an intense debate with recent comments about how he balances professional pressure with moments of relaxation. Between criticism and support, voices in the circuit are divided. Is it wrong for a player to party like any other young person, or is knowing when to stop part of the success? Today we'll explain how this controversy is shaking the tennis world. Carlos Alcaraz recently admitted that, to stay mentally healthy, he needs to disconnect, go out with friends, and even enjoy partying. His comments came as part of a Netflix documentary presented during the Mutua Madrid Open, a tournament he missed due to his adductor injury. This candid revelation triggered a wave of commentary. Some, like Roberto Bautista or Jack Draper, expressed skepticism about that approach. The demands of the circuit and the need to stay at the top seem at odds with a more relaxed lifestyle. However, not everyone agrees. Fran Cerundolo, the Argentine who recently made a brilliant semifinal run in Madrid, has come out in defense of the Mercian. For Cerundolo, Alcaraz is simply acting like any young star who must balance their professional and personal lives. Already world-renowned, Carlos can hardly live a normal life, and Cerundolo understands that finding those moments of privacy and disconnection is vital. He admits doing the same, saying that spending time with friends and family helps him perform better on court. Cerundolo's support offers a different perspective, one that humanizes elite tennis players. After all, Carlos Alcaraz is just 21, an age when most young people are exploring their identity, building friendships, and making mistakes. But he does all this under the scrutiny of the entire world. It's only natural that he seeks ways to unwind. Moreover, the results don't lie. Despite the controversies, he remains one of the best in the world. His recent title in Monte Carlo proves it, as does his consistent presence in the latter stages of major tournaments. Next on his calendar is the Rome Masters 1000, a tournament he has never won. After missing the Madrid tournament, the Mercian is more motivated than ever. This week, he's been training in Spain to confirm his optimal physical condition, and all signs point to him flying to Rome on Tuesday. His debut is scheduled for Friday or Saturday, giving him enough time to adapt. Carlos's mind is on Rome, but the real goal is Roland Garros. His preparation, both physical and mental, is designed to peak in Paris. The debate about Carlos Alcaraz's lifestyle reflects something much deeper, the challenge of being young at the top of global sport. While some criticize him for allowing himself certain freedoms, others see it as a necessary balance to survive the pressure. The truth is, for now, his formula works. Carlos not only keeps winning titles but also stays true to himself, something rare in a world that demands constant perfection. Alcaraz himself approaches this tournament with ambition but also caution. Questions about his physical state after injury are still present, and instability in the draw only adds to the uncertainty. Even so, the Mercian has shown he can quickly adapt and compete at the highest level under unpredictable conditions. Last-minute withdrawals by 3 players at the Rome Masters 1000 have shaken up the established plans and reshaped a tournament that promises intense emotions. Carlos Alcaraz returns eager to prove he's recovered, but his path is full of unknowns. The chance to face unexpected rivals adds an extra layer of excitement. Also, with players like Carlos Taberner taking advantage of opportunities and a solid group of Spanish representatives, Rome becomes an ideal platform to showcase national talent. Alcaraz, as the main figure, will lead this push in a tournament that kicks off with more uncertainty than usual.